updating everybody on just what's going on as far as the start of the week goes. It's quite nice. There's no significant. Oh, it's that camera. Dang, I was looking at the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, just a quick little update. I'm going to probably end up doing one of these every day just to kind of give everyone just a quick update. I know a lot of people get their weather here on social media sites if they can't catch the show or whatever. So here we go. Just almost done here. Quick update on this week's nice weather. That way nobody gets confused that there's anything serious coming. And then we'll make sure that I'm up on this one right here. And I can read the comments, which I believe looks like we are good. Yep, there we go. All right, got to make sure I can see the comments in case anyone has anything to say. There we go. All right, so like I said, just a few people in here, just giving a quick update on what we're going to see coming up. Full disclosure, no bad weather or anything. I actually don't expect, if you caught this morning's sunrise forecast, don't expect that we'll even see a drop of rain for about a full week. We'll have to wait until about next Monday for really that chance, and that could even be slowing down. Many of models, which of course a week out is basically fantasy land with just a hair of truth to it, is pushing it in on Tuesday, so it could be even later than that, which is pretty cool. So your weather headlines for today, or really for this whole week, just to kind of get it out the gate there. For the start of the week, some chilly mornings with mild afternoons, basically what I like to call practically perfect spring weather, which is sunny, bone dry as far as humidity goes, and showing not cold, not hot, kind of right in that perfect range. Now today I would believe is a little on the cool side, so maybe not practically perfect, but we'll be right back to it tomorrow, and even Wednesday is pretty good. But that's when we start getting in the middle there, which is a great Jimmy Eat World song. If you haven't heard it, look it up. A little warmer there with a few clouds starting to move in. I still expect basically 25% clouds at the most as we head all the way into Thursday. Though that's when we'll start noticing clouds moving in, and it'll start getting a little bit warmer than average and a little bit more humid. So still no major changes. We have to wait till the end of the week for that, and that's where we get back pretty much to just where we were all of last week, which was basically summertime, as we were in the mid to upper 80s with some pretty high humidity there at times. So looking outside, nothing going on in any significant way as far as weather goes. Not a cloud to be seen, and not one to be seen for miles in any direction. So looking pretty good. I believe that was Laurel Ford and Laurel there. Circle C tractor here in Waynesboro. This is one of my favorite shots when the sky is blue, just because of all the contrast from the nice, generally kind of greenish grass with the all the tractors there, nice and orange, and then you got the blue sky with the green tree line in the background. Just a lot of cool colors there. One of my favorites, definitely. Then here at Walt Matthew Ford in Columbia, which we just got working again, looking pretty good as well. This was one of the cool spots this morning that dropped all the way down into the mid to upper 30s. If we had spent any more time than just 30 minutes or so there, maybe an hour, we could have started to edge towards some frostiness. I had a viewer talk about his tomato plants, so that he covered them just to be safe. Generally, we're not going to get cold enough to really damage plants like that at this point, but we got close today. This morning down into about 36, I think, was the lowest I saw in the area, and that was in Prentice. So looking at the sky conditions here for the rest of the day, again, nothing but sun, and that carries on into tomorrow as well. Models are starting to give me some low 70s, like 72 there. I even saw some as high as 73 today, but I don't expect we'll really see too much of that. I'm believing, I guess, maybe a little bit more than they are in the dry and cooler air and that nice northerly breeze. So I have mine at 71. We could go a little bit above that. Either way, we're still going to be considerably below average with very low humidity and looking just absolutely wonderful. There's Kathleen Cameron says, hey, y'all. Hey, it's just me, but I accept y'all. And maybe she's talking to everybody in there as well, checking it out. So very, very cool there. Thank you. I like to engage with people when I can. So as we take a look outside, looking at our winds here, you can see those streamlines coming generally out of the north, northeast. That's keeping things cool and dry. Gusting as much as about 15, which sounds like a lot, especially, if a car is coming at you at 15, that's going to make a dent in you, probably. But for wind, It's not very much. It's noticeable. You'll know that it's breezy there, but not going to rearrange anything. And for perspective, it takes about 5 miles per hour of wind to lift like a dry leaf off of the ground. So it's not very strong, but it is keeping that cooler and drier air coming in, and you could see that it cleared out everything over the weekend when things were very, very humid and cloudy. Now that's all been pushed out of the area. Let's see, Kathleen, this is clarified. Good morning to everyone in the Pine Belt. You're awesome people. Yes, thank you very much. And I agree, everybody out there. As far as temperatures go, you see as we advance this into the afternoon, and maybe you have to squint to see it, but that takes us to about 70. So this particular model here is more in agreement with me and keeping it on the lower side of things with those completely clear skies. In fact, I have to run it all the way through Tuesday here. You can kind of see a little bit of spotty cloud cover showing up to the south and the east of us there. I still expect we'll be basically perfectly sunny. You do see that warming though, getting us back into those upper 70s, and then I have to run it all the way into Wednesday before we even see any real noticeable cloud cover, moving into about 90% of the area. And even that, again, is barely anything at all. You have to squint to see it there. So not a whole lot of clouds. Even for Thursday, I largely expect it to look just like that until we start heading into Friday, and that's when we'll finally start seeing upwards of like 50-50 in terms of cloud cover popping up. So no major deal there. Temperature-wise, it's going to be nice and well below average today, which average for this time of year has now risen to about 80 as we head into the third week, towards the end of April. And the start of May. So we're well below that today. With my high of 71, we'll be up to 77, 78 for tomorrow. And then you see we climb into those 80s. Wednesday is still just barely above average and with that lower humidity, so still what I would consider that practically perfect territory, which is where we will be tomorrow and Wednesday. Today, again, just a slight hair too cool to be considered practically perfect, but still an amazing top-tier day. You can see that here in the humidity, which thankfully is still remaining on the low side for at least the next couple of days. Does start to edge towards what we would consider sticky, where your dew points start climbing into the mid-60s. Dew point, just a gauge of moisture in the air. And that's what we're starting to see edging into that time. And then it kind of sits there. So it's not going to get all the way up into oppressive or miserable like we see sometimes during the summer, but certainly going to be noticeable once again that moisture has moved in and likely going to lead to some more foggy mornings and some misty mornings as we finish off the week. But again, we got to get all the way through the week first. As far as rainfall goes, you could see that basically none in the area. Wednesday and Thursday gets pretty close because we have a very weak front moving into the northern parts of the state, and that is going to bring at least some rain there, but nothing concerning, and it doesn't look like it's going to make it to us. It's just going to kind of bring in that cloud cover. It's going to start bringing that to us. Let's see, Catherine Cameron says no freeze, right? No, we'll still be chilly tomorrow. It'll still be in the low 40s on the area, but this morning was the coldest it was going to get, and that was in that right along the Pearl River Valley where you get what's called cold air drainage. Cold air is heavier and more dense, and that's why if you have like a little valley like in the Pearl River, it's not, our elevation is not wild here. There's no mountains or anything like that. But there is that little bowl, and that's where the cold air likes to go in and sit, and that's why those areas were down to 37 for like Columbia and Foxworth, and I think Prentice was the lowest at 36. If we had spent more than an hour, maybe an hour and a half there, we could have gotten some frostiness, but again, we're going to warm from there. Tomorrow morning will still be chilly, but only in the low 40s, and that's not going to freeze anything out there. Max says, didn't expect this chill in May. I knew, the forecast, we were talking all last week that Sunday was going to be pretty cool, especially if the rain had really held on like it was supposed to, and it really scooted out of here pretty quickly, more quickly than expected. But that, I knew it was going to be that cold, but when I walked out outside the house Sunday morning at like 8 o'clock, I was not prepared for how cool it was. I mean, I knew it in my head, but the reality of that was a little surprising. So you're probably feeling on that too. Kathleen's now checking on her gardening. I'm actually going to get out with my son and try to do some gardening this week, teaching him growing little herbs. I think we have some oregano and some basil plants or something. We're going to try that. Pretty cool. So rain-wise, don't expect any. So if you're doing your gardening like Miss Cameron here, you're going to have to bring your own water source for at least a week, because we are not looking at seeing a drop of rain, and even then it isn't looking very concerning, but we will get to that when we pass it. Good news on the pollen front is things have lowered since we went through the weekend. Things got dampened. Now they've pretty much leveled out. They've been averaging in the high to awful category at times, depending on how dry and windy we are, but all this week it'll fluctuate a bit more. Each day seems to be different from these pollen forecasts. But looking much more consistent and consistently lower than normal. But still, if you're an allergy sufferer, and it gets me from time to time too, you may want to keep those antihistamines nearby, but not too terribly close. It's not gonna knock you down like it did at the beginning of the season. So that's basically all I had. We'll go ahead and the quick 10-day forecast here to just kind of give you the gist of what's coming up. Again, we don't have any. It's just a 30 here. It didn't even give me the percent. I'm going to have to figure out what happened with that. But either way, about a 30% chance of rain. The first time we see anything above a 20 is showing up next Monday. So again, we have to go through this entire week of pretty much nothing but sun until Friday, and then that's when it starts inching in, and we have just a couple of 50 to 75% cloudy days there. So even the weekend, which does get a bit on the hot and humid side, it would not surprise me to see a little fog here Saturday morning and Sunday morning. But that's when things finally start to drop off as that rain moves in. But you can see we're actually trending up as we head into next week. So temperatures are already into the upper 80s, and that humidity did not drop much with this Monday front coming through. So it looks like if it makes it through at all, it's just going to kind of lift off pretty quickly and bring that humidity right back. So enjoy this couple of days here, today and tomorrow and even Wednesday, because once we pass that, we pretty much do not drop below 84. And the humidity is just going to get up to right on the edge of that sticky level, that humid level, and just kind of sit there. So that's pretty much all I've got. Let's see if I had my little social media thing here. Yep, there it is. So you can always follow me. I'm going to try, as I said, to do these each day, and then we share them from the station profile as well, so that gets a little bit more out there for everybody. But if you want to follow me directly, I do also answer my direct messages from time to time for people who have weather questions or things like that. I do have Ryan Mahan WDAM for Facebook, and I refuse to call it X, so we'll do @RyanMahanWX, all one word for Twitter, or X, if you really want to call it that. So either way, again, I spend a lot of time on these to try to get all this information out there, because it's probably the future. Future of the industry will be a lot more digital than what we're seeing now, but it's a long way off. Either way, looks like Catherine Cameron here counts on the lives, don't get local TV, so thank you. Yeah, so yeah, if you ever have an issue, and she said she was a gardener, you concerned, you see a trend coming up where things might get a little cool, and you want to make sure that there's no freeze or anything coming, absolutely. Shoot me a message. I don't always see them, especially on the weekends. I try to separate that a little bit to give myself some space and time with the family and all, but I generally always try to answer what I can when I can. So I'll go ahead and let you guys go for now. Lasted a little longer than I expected. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, and we'll very likely see you tomorrow.